images? It's on the YouTube channel. Okay. Should be good.
All right. Oh, all right. So I just started the live stream, so we can continue now. All right. So that's a bit about me. Some book recommendations in case you want to self-study outside of these lecture series. There's the Fast AI book, already plugged it, the NLP book, and Deep Learning and Deep Reinforcement Learning book. But yeah. All right, here's a bit of a roadmap for these series for ML Mondays. We're starting off all on the left on the Introduction to ML Mondays. And then we're going to go on to Introduction to Deep Learning. Keep in mind, these are just topic orders, and it might be more than one workshop because we're only limited to an hour per. So, yep. And then we'll be on the third workshop, we're going to be learning about transfer learning, and we're going to actually deploy models, or at least that is what I'm going to walk you through. So you're going to be putting out actual models outside. And then from then on, we're just going to be focusing on different applications, like computer vision, NLP, which is like ChatGPT, basically sort of stuff, speech processing, generating speech, transcribing speech, and then reinforcement learning for those who are interested in more robotics stuff. All right, so that's the general topic list. Any questions? I just see a bunch of dead stares. All right, cool. So what is artificial intelligence? I'm sure everyone's heard AI somewhere, but who actually knows what it means? Oh, I guess it's up there, but anyone want to answer what they think artificial intelligence means? I think you're raising your hand? Okay, anyone else? All right, you. Yes, that is one explanation people like to call it, but that's a good answer. I mean, it's not wrong, but yeah. I think there was one in the back also. Yeah, so learning from examples, is that what you're saying? Yeah, so these are all correct answers. As the guy in the first row said, artificial intelligence is a very broad term, and it generally just means there's like 4 different ways people can think about it. It's like something that is at human level performance, maybe something that is rational, just doing the correct actions, and like something that can think, as the guy in the front row also said, and behaviors like, I don't know, acting like an animal maybe, that can be called artificial intelligence. So that's like a very broad space of what AI can be. So when you hear AI, it can mean literally anything that does something. So yep, hopefully that helped y'all. This is like a very big Venn diagram of what AI and like ML, all these different like things, how they are oriented in relation to each other. So as I said, artificial intelligence is a very broad field. It encompasses all of everything else, like machine learning, deep learning, supervised learning. It encompasses all of it. So what we're going to be focusing on during these workshops is a subset of machine learning for at least the start of it. And it's going to be deep learning in specifics. And the reason behind that is all of the applications you've probably seen these days, like Stable Diffusion, where you can generate images, ChatGPT, they're all like using deep learning mostly. So that's why we're going to be focusing on that. All right, so what are the types of AIs? So in one column, you got like generative AI, and the other column, you got discriminative AI. So the advancement in the last like couple of years has been with generative AI. Maybe a good example I think I have in the next slide would be like generating images, generating text, generating speech. Like all of those applications are generative AI. and we can just go to the examples. So a discriminative AI is something that takes some form of data and classifies it as something else. So like, let's go into this room. I classify this guy as wearing a striped shirt, this dude as wearing a black shirt, this guy as a white shirt. That's kind of what classification AIs do, and it can be very useful when trying to get very accurate stuff, like transcribing text from images. Right. Any questions here? Cool. And then onto the fun stuff, the very cool stuff from the last like 10 years. It is generative AI. On the left, we got some images generated from Stable Diffusion, the website. And then we got ChatGPT in the middle and like a speech sample from Meta's latest music generator. I think I'll play that. Oh, it's from my laptop. Can you hear it? Well, that's completely AI generated and it sounds realistic to me. So take that as you will. That is some advancements of generative AI. All right. So when I started learning about deep learning, I was kind of like, bro, everyone's done everything already. What am I going to do? And I found these couple of examples that really inspired me. Some of them are, these are all like computer vision examples that are completely unrelated to what I'm going to talk about. So on the left, you got a bunch of sounds that people converted to images and they classify the images. So for me, that was pretty crazy because it's freaking sound and now it's an image. And similar on the right, they took stock data and turned that into an image also, and then classified that, and they were able to get like state-of-the-art performance on the subject. And this was all done by people who just took that course that I was talking about before, which is what this is based off. So it doesn't really take that much. Like you don't have to be insanely intelligent to be able to make cool stuff. You just have to be a bit creative. And then next one is this guy used like mouse tracking on Windows, like on your website, to detect which people are fraudulent. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyone seen any cool like ways AIs has been used? Maybe share it. All right. All right, sounds good. So for learning AI, I think a common thing people think about when they're learning AI is like, it's gonna be a bunch of math and it's gonna be impossible for me to do anything useful because, you have to have a bunch of data and a bunch of compute power. So those are kind of myths, kind of not because of large language models, but they're also kind of not myths again. But for the lot of math thing, you don't necessarily need a lot of math. If you understand what a line is on a graph, you should be fine. Raise your hand if you know what a line is on a graph. All right, now keep your hands raised if you know what a slope is. Wow, there's a lot of people who can learn AI in here. All right, and to kind of debunk the lots of data, we're gonna do a live demonstration of creating a state-of-the-art bird or not classifier. So we'll show you that you don't need a ton of data or a lot of compute power. I have to switch, one sec. I'm having a bit of trouble doing this. Oh, we can just save it for later for now. All right, so how will we be teaching in these workshops? So primarily we're going to be focusing around like describing concepts with pictures and a bit of math. I know it's a bit scary, just a tiny bit, sprinkle of math. And along with that math, we're going to put some code. So if you're familiar with coding, it shouldn't be too difficult because the math is usually just like multiplication, addition. I like who here knows multiplication and addition? All right, you can understand the math. All right, so that's cool. And along with the code, we're gonna be having code that you can play with during the workshops. So you can make stuff that is cool if you want to, or you can just see how other people did it. So that's kind of the reason behind the code, and then we got the pictures and some math. Workshop time. I guess I'll show that thing I was trying to show before. Oh. Yes. It's on this. I want to go here. Sorry about that. Oh, I think it's showing. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have to crane my head over and see from here. But here's like a couple of lines of code that can train a model, and like maybe 5 lines, and it'll get like state-of-the-art performance. So to kind of first start from the top, what's happening in this code journal is not too intense. Here, we define a function that can search for images, like on Google or DuckDuckGo. And then we get the URLs for those images. Then we download those images. And then we just visualize some. And here we just save them into folders. So that's kind of what's happening in this code. And then we're going to train our model. Here we just remove any funky images that aren't working. And here we're gonna do our, we're gonna create a data loader. It's how it loads data in. So, and we can visualize some. And let's train our model. So this is a bird, not bird classifier. So the reasoning behind showing this model is because 10 years ago, something like this, maybe 15 now, but 15 years ago, something like this was considered impossible. And we're doing it right here on my MacBook. It's a MacBook. And we're doing it in less than a minute. So we're doing an impossible task from 15 years ago. And as you can see down here, we have 0% error rate. So on our data set, we're doing perfect. And we can use it to classify the image from above. So yay, it said it's a bird. Fantastic. Now we can go back to the workshop stuff so y'all can see. Actually, I'm gonna let y'all sign in first. Get it right here too. Go ahead. All right. I think everyone's got their codes in. Just raise your hand if you haven't. Oh, you have a question in the back? Oh, yes. There is a great reason we use 1959 as our code. And that was because this dude in IBM in 1959 coined the term machine learning. I was definitely not fed this by one of the other officers. Also, pizza. Okay. All right. So this is the workshop part of the event. Um, so what we're what we're gonna be doing for the workshop is, can y'all just hear me like this? Yes. Okay. Why was I using that? Huh? All right. I'm gonna just leave it off. Oh, it is? Okay. I guess. I feel like the direction's not good enough, so you won't hear anything. But I'll try. Hello? Can All right, cool. So I'm gonna just keep on holding it. So for the workshop, we're gonna basically have a couple of notebooks in our GitHub repo. So in these notebooks, we have a couple of laid out examples of training some machine learning models on different problems. This is just to give you an example of how training works. And we can go over some of them if y'all want me to. And it's gonna be just a couple lines of code, nothing insane, just to like break y'all into how models can be trained. So one of them is a collaborative filtering one, which is how recommendation systems work. And another is segmentation, which just means they drop boxes around certain things. And another is just image classification, like I showed earlier. So there's gonna be 3 of those notebooks, and I want y'all to kind of play around with it, maybe run it yourself. But for the remainder of this workshop, we're gonna set up the environment, and then y'all can play around with those little notebooks. All right, sounds good. And on the right, there's a feedback form. If y'all were falling asleep, just say it in the forum. And if you weren't, say that also. All right. So just raise your hand if you're all done with getting the, wait, not raise your hand. Raise your hand if you didn't get the links up here. So I can move on. You can also type in the link at the bottom. It's ML-Mondays because the screen splits it. Yeah. So I'm gonna let everyone go to the link and does anyone need help cloning the repository? You need help? You want to go around helping people? Okay. So I'm gonna have one of our members, Zane, help y'all around. So just raise your hand if you need help from him. He wrote the code, or at least he copied it over and ran it. So if you need help, just raise your hand. He'll come. Oh no. All right, so I opened up the repo page. So for anyone who doesn't know how to clone the repo, you just go to code and then copy this and just type in git clone in the command line and then paste that link in. So here we have instructions on how to install Anaconda. It's an environment manager. So why do we need Anaconda, or why does everyone always talk about Anaconda? The reasoning behind using an environment manager is because if you have a lot of different Python projects, you're going to have a lot of the same dependencies, and when you have different versions of them, they can stop working. So that's the reason behind using one of these environment managers, and just to like have the right dependencies. So you can visit the download page, or you could just install it globally. It's fine. But here's the instructions on downloading it. So you just click download for whatever version OS you have, and you go through the installation process for that. If anyone needs help with installing Anaconda, just raise your hand, and Zane will be around. Let's see hands for everyone who has like Anaconda installed, or just like are not going to install Anaconda. All right, so I'm guessing everyone else is installing Anaconda if they have a laptop. I'll give y'all like a minute or 2 or 3. Just look at me when you're done. Clone the repository? All right, so I've gotten a bunch of questions asking how to clone the repository. This is a great question. I just should have told you all about it. So you go into your terminal. Do y'all know how to go to a terminal? All right, cool. So you type in git clone, and then you paste in the link, and then you press enter. So in case you can't see it, I'm gonna just zoom in. So you type in git clone and then the link from the GitHub repo. So if you're at the GitHub, you can go to code and then copy from here, right here. And you type in git clone and then the link. You got a clone? Good? Okay. Just raise your hand if you're still cloning the repo. Sorry about skipping that. Oh, so it will be like where you cloned it. So it would be the path. Type in pwd, I think. Oh wait, I don't know Windows. Dir, maybe dir. It's wherever you, yeah. That should like list out a path. All right. I'm guessing everyone else has finished cloning their stuff. Oh, you're raising. What's up? Huh? Oh, okay. Sounds good. All right. So after you clone the repo, you can go to Anaconda or not. And once you've set up the environment, I'm guessing everyone else has set up their environment. Okay, I see a bunch of dead stairs. All right, so I'm gonna move on. So you can just like go to all the way down here. It's called pip install -r. The -r is very important. Stands for dash requirements. So it's right here, and then the path to the requirements. So the path will be in the workshop folder, and then it's gonna be a requirements.txt. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you're installing it. Oh, it's fine. You don't have to be using it. This is the one that's kind of hard. So hit install -r and then pass the requirements. CT. What's okay? Can you help him? So after we own the repository, if you have Python already installed, you're good. Or you can install Anaconda. But after that, you click install the requirements.txt. It's going to be in the ML workshop one folder. So it's workshop one /requirements.txt, and just type in that. Let me type it up there. So if I list out the content in my folder, it's going to be README and Workshop 1. Workshop 1 is a folder. And once I look inside what Workshop 1 is, there's going to be a bunch of tech like stuff and a requirements.txt. So just do pip install -r and then so this is the command you need to run after you've cloned the repository and installed Python or Anaconda. Do you have a question? So
That's nice as shit. Okay, I'm gonna get a video of that.
Change directory and use CD. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's fine.
That's perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's good. Let it. It's gotta be. So let's. Yeah, we're going to record it, but we'll just like that.
Nah, it's not good.
I'm thinking faster. Like this. Here.
Well, it's gonna be hard though. 'Cause, like, I see what you're saying. What's your It's gonna be better.
I'm just gonna chop it up right now and see what it looks like. Yeah. I'll give it a go.
How about this one? And we can speed it up anyways.
Alright, here I have it. So it looked like this.
No, that's good.
Not the same direction, but that's the idea.
So for people on Windows, you should be using the Anaconda the command line there, the command prompt on Anaconda, unless you already have like Python installed on Windows. Yeah. All right. I'm guessing everyone has something installed. No? No? You need help? You don't need help? Do you need help? Wait. Raise your hand if you have the requirements installed. If you have the requirements installed. So 2 people got the requirements installed. Oh, the Anaconda download? Hit install. Okay, let's get a count of hands. Who's stuck on the anaconda stuff? Just raise your hand. Okay, you're stuck. Okay. So mostly everyone's stuck on the anaconda stuff. All right. Okay, I'll just run through it on this laptop over here. It's Mac OS, but I think most of y'all have Windows. Still be helpful, I guess. So, are y'all having issues installing Anaconda? Just raise your hand if you're having issues installing Anaconda. So one guy. I'll go with first, and then. Okay. I'll help him, and then I'll go on to the next phase. All right, guys. So now let's go on to who's having issues installing the requirements. All right, I'll walk through that for y'all. All right, so I'm assuming it's a wrong directory issue, so I'm gonna start from there. So once you clone the repository, has anyone have issues cloning the repository? All right. I'll go on, but I'll help you after. Okay, so after you clone the repository, you type in cd. So if you're on Anaconda, if you're on Windows, you have to go to the Anaconda command line, command the terminal in Anaconda, and then you type in cd to ML Mondays, and then you'll go into the ML Mondays directory, and then you type in that line pip install -r, and then is this helping y'all? You have to change your directory before going in. Raise your hand if that was not the issue. Okay. Wait, who was the other person? All right, guys. Since we only have like 7 minutes, I'm gonna continue on. Sorry if I couldn't get to everyone with their issues. I'm gonna assume you already have the dependencies installed. So after you have the dependencies installed, you can type in a command in the command prompt. It's called Jupyter, and it'll open up a window. It's called Jupyter Notebook. Oh no, I forgot to activate my environment. One sec. It's Jupyter and then Notebook. Sorry. And then it will have like a whole wonky donk, like a bunch of text, and you have this like window open, and you can click Workshop 1, and these are the notebooks I was talking about earlier. There's an image classification one, which was what I ran through earlier in the lecture. And there's also an image segmentation one. There's just a couple of lines, you download the data, and then you create like the data loaders, and then you train the model. So all of them are kind of formatted similarly. I just want y'all to at least run one of these notebooks once you get your stuff installed and everything ready, just to understand how running Jupyter Notebook works and how like models can be trained. So that's kind of your homework. Just run one of these notebooks. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put the feedback form back up, so please fill it out. near the end of the workshop because there's going to be another group of people coming in. But sorry about that.